Hello, princesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we are here to look at some brand new products from One Size by Patrick Starrr, a brand that I have been following closely since its inception, watching it grow, and it gets better with every release. I definitely count myself as a fan. These products were, well, let's talk about what they are and then something interesting. So we have the Cheek Clapper 3D Blush Trio, got a few shades of that, and we have the Made for Shade Bronze and Sculpt Trio. These were new releases that came out for the Sephora sale, and this was really interesting. Usually all of us skeptics say that, nothing new comes out during the Sephora sale because, all the brands want to make the most out of new releases, but that's changed. Interestingly enough, obviously there is some more temptation to purchase if you can get a percentage off. So we have had a lot of new releases that come really concurrently with the Sephora sale, which at time of filming only has a few days left. Okay, so let's talk about it, and I'll tell you whether I think these are worth you getting. I've been having a lot of fun playing with it today, and we'll go to the demo in a moment and look at swatches in two different lights. Okay, so first of all, the Cheek Clapper 3D Blush Trio is $36, has 6 different shade combinations. I picked up 2. I picked up Very That and Rich Betch, B-E-T-C-H. Let's look at them first. There is a little flap. There's a cream blush in each at the top of all 6 colorways. And then we have a blush in the middle and a kind of blush topper / highlighter on the bottom. And there is a flap to keep the peanut butter from the chocolate. Do you remember the old Reese's peanut butter cup commercials? But it also just keeps the powder from getting in the cream. And I want to call it a Tarte flap. Patrick Tarte is not the only one who uses a flap to separate powder from cream. I just like the ring to it, so I hope that Mr. Starrr doesn't mind that I call this a Tarte flap. He's got one too. So here we go. In the pan, let me just hold these up for you first before we swatch them. We have this one here is Very That, and this one that I'm shaking, which is a little bit deeper, is Rich Betch. But there are 4 other color stories as well for a total of 6, and these are $36 each. They are really fun because you could use these alone, you could use them together, and Patrick Starrr suggests that you can, layer on this cream either under or over. You could do that with the Patrick Tarte, speaking of him again, blushes that have cream and powder, but I think it's kind of fun that Patrick Starrr adds in this topper that could also be kind of like a highlighter. That's actually really fun. The cases here are quite weighty. If you pack these and take them, or if you take them to work in your bag, they're not going to break, but they are awfully thick. And kind of, they're weighty and nice, but they're a little bit, they're a handful. I don't care about that. I'm just saying, maybe it's just because I run out of space constantly. That's my issue. Sounds like a Rebecca issue. Anyway, they're very pretty. We're going to look at swatches of those in a minute. But let's first talk about the Made for Shade. I love Patrick Starr's sense of humor. Made for Shade, a Bronze and Sculpt Trio. There's 6 of these. I picked up medium. I think it's about right, and I'm wearing it now, so I did pretty well on that. These are also $36 for each of these shades, and with 6 shades, it's really inclusive. You'll definitely be able to find something that works for you. And what Patrick Starrr does here is no flap, because they're all powder. Boo! But we have an all-over bronzer, and then kind of an all-over warm glow. And then here on the bottom, in all 6 of them, here on the bottom is the Sculpt or Shape and Define. So it's a little bit flatter and not quite as warm as the 2 on top. So if you love to contour and bronze, I like to bronzer, but if you love to contour and bronze, you could really have a lot of fun, and it's nice to buy one bronzer and get a bunch of shades. Yes, it's true. If you really use a super big fluffy brush, it's a little small to get into, but it's really nice. And tomorrow or the day before, I don't know which order I ran them in, we'll talk about the rival with Fenty that's been released with 5 Fenty bronzers, pre-released Fenty bronzers, but in one palette. And at the end here, I'll talk about which one of those I prefer. But at any rate, right now, just sticking to one size, I picked medium, and I think it was a good one. But no matter your skin shade, you'll be able to find something. All right, let's go ahead and look at these swatches first in studio lighting. Here they are on my arm. We have, in order, just the way it goes from top to bottom, we have the trio Very That, followed by Rich Betch, and then the medium that I picked up of the Bronze and Sculpt trio. 5 other shades in that. So take a look there. Very pretty and a lot of fun to play with. Patrick Starrr makes makeup really kind of fun and creative. And I love that about, I really do love that about him. Okay, let's step outside into the warm California sunshine and take a look at some ducks that are still just sitting there on my lawn and not paying rent. And then these on my arm in natural lighting. Take a look at that there. That female duck is gone. I think she's on some eggs. The 2 men await her return. But they're very interested in these shades on my arm, or not. So I want to go and play with these. I'm going to apply the blush very heavily, just so you can kind of really get an idea of what the shades look like. Don't get an impression here, because this is kind of me evening it out before I filmed, as it looks a little lopsided in the demo, but let's go ahead and play with it right now. Stay right there. Okay, let's get started. As you can see, I definitely need some color around here on my face. I am just playing around with, I have the, of course, the One Size BBB cream. If you're looking for a medium to full coverage foundation, it's such a good one. I swear Patrick Starr's products are getting better and better as he progresses and grows with his brand. And I'm just kind of playing around with the new Esom dual-ended pencils. This one is brazen, and I even put a little bit of Patrick Ta gloss over the top, just kind of having some fun. But this whole part of my face is pretty blank. So let's see. We're going to start with the bronzer. And of course, the way that it tells us to do things here, not that we have to follow directions, but sometimes a blueprint is kind of nice. It tells us to shade. This is the all-over bronzer. Then this is kind of a warm glow bronzer, and this will sculpt and define. I'm not a big sculptor and definer, but let's try it. I am going to throw caution to the wind as I do and go into these 2 shades, since one is all over and one is a warm glow. Those both say all over to me. So let's just give it a try. I just want to warm up my face. I think I chose a good shade. Yes, I'm doing this haphazardly. No, it shouldn't offend you. There's nothing wrong with it. There are no rules. I just want to warm up my face. And then this would be more for sculpting, and that would make sense because it's a little bit more of a flatter shade rather than being quite as warm as the other 2. So more to sculpt, which I did not really just do, but you know, we'll pretend. That would be my least used of shades, but maybe for you guys it would work. And these would also be very pretty in the crease of the eye. Okay, and let's do, we got 2 blush color stories, so let's do one on this side and one on this side. We'll start on this side with the first one I got, which is Very That. Love his names. Got the Ta flap, this time in the One Size product. I know Patrick Starrr is not Patrick Ta, don't get on me. Okay, so here's the way that he hopes, that Patrick Starrr advises. No rules, but I like to hear what the artist himself says. So Patrick Starrr says, this cream right here, this is a cream with a little flap over it. That's why I used my Ta flap joke. This is for overpainting and underpainting. So he is saying you can use this on top of everything or underneath. Let's try it underneath this time. And then we're going to build with this as more of the full impact blush. And this is almost like a topper or highlighter shade. Okay, so let's do that. Let me take my fingers into the cream here and just kind of dot. We're going to try that first, but he says you can use it over as well. So just on this side. And in fact, let's have a little bit of fun and do this kind of simultaneously as we build with each shade. Because right over here on this side, we're going to go with the other one I bought, which is Rich Betch, B-E-T-C-H. Have another flap here. Let me get that open. Then I can show you better. Into the cream. Pardon that loud truck going by. And this is a much more substantial shade. Pigmented. It's a very loud truck going by. Okay, so now you can see the difference in Rich Betch and Very That. Very different shades. Okay, next we will need a brush, and I'm going to try to match, so I'll use two roughness. This is a number 5 we'll use over here for Rich Betch, and this is a number 19, and we'll go into the powder shade here on Very That and just kind of go up. I didn't even knock off the color because I want to do this a little bit powerfully for you to see the shades. Very, very, very pretty. Kind of a peachy shade, right? Now let's add in with the number 5. Let's add in the powder shade in Rich Betch. This one I'm going to wipe off even though I want to do it powerfully. This is a much more pigmented shade. Again, I'm doing this much darker than normally would, just so you guys can really see what this looks like. I'm not really, I got it a little too close to the nose, so I'll go fix that, but okay, interesting. I mean, that's powerful. Sorry, I'm looking in the viewfinder, not at you guys. Just trying to see what I'm doing. Okay, now we are at, woo, that's bright. Okay, now we are at the step where we're going to look at highlighting a bit. This one is much more my style. Looks like Rich Betch, you'd have to kind of just slow down a little bit on, Rebecca. Okay, so this is kind of going to be the highlight shade, but also a little bit of a blush topper. So let's just see what we can do. That's me rolling my eyes at that truck. The nerve of some trucks. Okay, so I kind of use that. Oh, that's very pretty, isn't it? I can see really enjoying this. I would enjoy this color story as well, Rich Betch, but you just got to be a little bit more careful. And for that, I used a Rephr number 4, and for this, I'm going to use a Wayne number 13, and I'm expecting it to be pretty powerful. And you know what I like about this is it will be very inclusive for different skin shades. Of course, Patrick Starrr is great about that. But I can see somebody with a really deep complexion really enjoying that. Again, I am really overdoing it purposefully. Just so you can see, I will tone it down for my intro. So you won't see this there. So it's a little silly looking. Okay. Very, very nice, lovely little products. Look at the impact of that. Again, too much, but I just wanted you to see. That's really pretty. And this, how everyday is that? How everyday, Very That. That is really nice. I know I'm a little bit of a cacophony of shades here. I've got the Pillow Talk on. I've got these. I'm just playing with makeup and having a good time today. I think these are definitely worth your investment. Nice price point for the fact that you get to play in a cream and a powder and a topper. And I do enjoy these 3 shades, especially if you like dipping into a bronzer. This might be a better bet at $36 than the $48 Fenty that I have. I don't know if you've seen it. I think I'm saving it for after this, but I've got that filmed as well. In fact, I just finished filming it a little bit ago. So there's a Fenty bronzing palette that's new that I've reviewed, and I think this one might be a little bit better. So I don't know. All right, let me know your thoughts. Like I said, I really think that One Size by Patrick Starrr is getting better and better and better as the brand grows. I am actually pretty impressed by the brand lately, more so than ever. And that BBB cream is absolutely just sensational, especially if you're looking for fuller coverage. So do let me know your thoughts, please, below. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it and my lopsided blush. I hope that you did, and if you haven't already done so, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of the fun in the coming weeks ahead, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.